Hey, Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's P to Z up on the mic. Whoa. Hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.
Do I hear an airplane? Is that an airplane going by in the background?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Did you have an airplane going by?
No.
You sure?
There was the semi truck went by
Oh, okay. It doesn't sound like a plane taking
Yeah,
off.
I was like, that's a plane.
right by the highway. So.
Hi Pi.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? I was gonna hit live on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
You know, just to mess with everybody since we haven't done it in forever. Oh look, we went live really quick. Yeah, I don't know. I figured we'd mess around on Instagram a little bit tonight too.
Hold on.
What are you doing? What's that?
Everybody say hi to Bruce.
Oh, hey, Bruce.
Christopher has a new pet.
His real name is Brutus, but I like calling him Bruce.
It's a beta fish.
Oh, I like
He's
it.
a little blue beta. He's my buddy. We have dinner together. Right? Me and Brutus. So yeah, how's everybody doing out there?
Yeah, Pi, there's a sexual innuendo there somewhere.
Well, yesterday I think was National Lumberjack Day, so he's just day late.
Was it really? Is that a real thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And ironically, tomorrow is National
There's a
Sunday.
national day for everything. Whatever. Yeah, there's National Day for everything.
Sunday.
Like celebrate your sons.
Oh, Sunday.
So
you said National Sunday.
Yeah.
There's no pause.
So Christy posted
Yeah.
on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
That with the date or whatever. And I just my comment was that they missed a golden opportunity to have it on Sunday, so it could be Sunday. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What up, Anthony on Instagram? What's going on? That's my viewing party. So it's either Anthony, who runs that account? Do you know, Renee?
I think Anthony does,
right?
but it could be Nicole. Maybe
Could be
Nicole's
Nicole.
adding.
All right.
Well, Anthony's
Yeah,
talking Nicole.
she handles Facebook a lot, so I don't know because Anthony doesn't have Facebook.
Ah, okay.
Sir or ma'am?
Ma'am. Yeah, sorry you can't see Renee because we're on Instagram. I just decided to do this for fun, just because. Pi says there's always an innuendo somewhere in there, deep
in
in
there.
Yeah.
Innuendo.
Anthony, what's going on,
Anthony,
brother?
what up, Anthony? Yo, Anthony.
Tell Anthony I said hi, even though he can't see me.
Renee says hi. I don't know if you can. You might be able to hear her through the computer.
Probably, I'm loud.
One day I'll figure out how to do this on Instagram also. It's just right now it's not an option.
Pi, YouTube is more than enough for us. It's just that why not show more?
Share the love.
Yeah, why not share the love? Show a little bit more. And they only
Pi's
get.
just jealous.
Yeah, they only get like a little blip. You know what I mean? Like I think Instagram runs for maybe an hour. Rudy,
Yeah.
go lay down.
Yo, this is such a shit show today.
Go lay down right now. There is no dribbling the ball while we're YouTubing. Well, okay, so we're here. We made it. We made it. Had a little hiatus last week.
We did.
Yeah, I was out of town. I was celebrating with my mom. She turned 70.
Happy belated birthday to Renee's mom.
Yes, happy belated birthday. I came down with the COVID.
Yeah.
So that was
Got the Rona.
I did not.
Yeah.
I was chilling at home. Linda.
What up, Lindy? Lindy.
We're in a very energetic mood tonight.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
good.
You know why? I think
Why?
you know what it is. Our pre-show, like in our pre-show, we talk about a lot of exciting things,
True.
and then it kind of like gets everything like the
Gets
wheels
hyped
going
up.
and everything.
Yeah.
You know.
It really
Yeah.
greases the monkey, you know?
I've personally never greased a monkey, but if you have, I guess you could explain to everybody greasing the monkey.
I don't know what that means, but it just sounded funny. I don't know.
Okay.
I could have said greasing the beta fish.
No, you leave my beta fish alone. I'll reintroduce Brutus to everybody again later on in the show. But
Even Pi agrees. Grease the monkey.
yes. Well, Pi would agree to pretty much anything being greased.
Oh, Pi.
So we're here to talk about the last episode of Tales of the Walking Dead. we're not going to spend too much time on it, from what I understand. Pi has something she would like to speak about considering the show. The only thing I really want to focus on about the episode were two things we talked about in the pre-show. And the fact that it was pretty... I genuinely thought that it was a very good horror, like, freaky kind of thing that they did. Especially with the little Jesuses, like the little Jesuses hopping off the crosses. Like...
That would kind of fuck me up, not gonna lie.
But I'm watching it and I'm sitting there and I'm like, why are they paying so her wall? She had a wall, and on this wall was this picture, family pictures and photos, and it was just covered in all these crosses. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, they're gonna like spin upside down or something, like freak her out. No, the Jesuses became little terrors and started attacking her, and I'm like, this is freaking weird. I'm like, I would have thought of like a lot of things, but bringing little metal Jesus to life, and the way they had him crawling, they were crawling like crabs. I don't know. They were like, dude, it was freaky. And they're attacking her.
Full disclaimer, I did not watch the final episode. I tried to twice and fell asleep within the first 5 minutes. Yeah. Could that have been related to the content of the episode? Possibly. Could have been I was exhausted. I don't know. But I didn't watch it. But I'm listening to Renee and Chris talk about it, right? And so all it could bring me back to is I love horror movies. I love slasher films. I love, those. I love the gore. Always have, always will. I was watching that shit when, Blockbuster was still a big thing, and I was renting movies that my parents didn't know were, fucking horror movies. But, so all it made me think about was if you've ever watched there's a show, a movie called Don't Drag Me to Hell or Drag Me to Hell or something. And it's like...
There's Drag Me to Hell, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like these little gremlin creatures. Or no. Was it Don't Be Afraid of the Dark? I have to look it up.
Actually, I don't remember that in the other one, but
I'll have to look it up. But there's a horror movie, basically. And one of the first things that it starts out with is the family, like this old man owns the house. And he hears something in the basement. And he walks down the stairs. And these little gremlin creatures have this rope at the bottom of the stairs. And they trip him. And this guy lands perfectly on this this object, and it shatters all his teeth in his mouth. And then these gremlin creatures are so strong that they grab him and drag him, and at the bottom center of the house is this furnace, little tiny ceramic furnace, a little small thing. The door swings open, and it kind of insinuates that it's hell inside. And they drag him, and you hear all his bones popping and stuff like that. And that's all I could think about was these gremlin creatures. We talk about the little Jesuses. All I could think about was this movie with these freaking blue gremlin creatures.
Pi says she remembers it. I got I don't know. I have to say you mentioning anytime there's a story where someone you lose teeth, your teeth smashed.
Oh god, it hurts.
I literally get the feeling in my mouth.
Yeah, you can feel that.
Oh, my teeth get sensitive. It's the worst.
So did you read Pi's comment?
Pi says they kept eating the dead woman's food and even complained how the water tasted funny. My theory is that Maria bought more than just candles from that house, and they were tripping balls on mushrooms or something. Look, anything's a possibility, We've definitely seen other people get drugged in some of the other Tales shows. So, maybe that could have been a recurring theme or something like that.
By the way, it's Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Okay.
Yep. And it's creepy because that one of the first scenes where the guy falls and his teeth.
Yeah. My front teeth get very sensitive when you start talking about that.
And these are what the creatures look like.
Oh, well, they have nice teeth.
They weren't blue; they were gray. But that's what the creatures looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And there's thousands of them, and oh my god.
Yep. I'm good.
I love horror movies, but for me, that movie was very hard to watch.
Yeah. So besides the Jesuses hopping off the crosses and attacking her, the other thing that I felt watching it was the male character. What's his name?
Eric. Was it Eric? No. Was it Eric?
Eric? Is that what you're saying? I can't remember because I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Yes, Eric. Yeah.
But he gave me very strong, young, like Shane vibes, just based on like his look. A very strong, pronounced jawline, the black hair back, and just like the attitude, his like whole persona.
Yeah, he kind of flips back and forth. Like, Shane would do that. Like, he'd be fine, and he would just snap.
Right.
And it's like a switch.
Like, easily seeing him smash the table, stand up, and give that woman like a heart attack or choke on her food so she dies or whatever. Like, he just gave me very strong Shane vibes. And I mean, like, his character, like, I guess called for him to be like that type of way, kind of like an a-hole. You guys got to go through the plot thoroughly. We're not taking that much time, Pi.
Oh, we'll go through something thoroughly.
No, I think she meant the...
Huh?
I think she said I haven't seen the new Walking Dead episode yet. But
The Walking Dead.
No. We haven't seen that yet. We're just going to talk about, like...
Yeah, we're not... Yeah. When we talk about The Walking Dead
we only talk about what would publicly air on AMC, not on AMC+.
Right. And look, obviously, if you want a really good recap, if you weren't able to watch Talking Dead, then you want an excellent recap. Renee broke down the whole episode of Talking Dead with everything that transpired on that show. So if you don't have access to watch it, because it doesn't air everywhere and there's no opportunity, some people really don't get to watch Talking Dead at all. So if you want a really good recap of what happened on the show, Renee posted a very long like breakdown of the whole episode. So you get a really good recap off of that on Undead Walking if you go to her page. We're gonna not grease any more monkeys tonight, Pi. No more greasing monkeys.
Why we're not greasing monkeys?
I don't know. She said we'll grease the monkeys thoroughly. I missed
not
Talking
my
Dead.
Not my circus.
No. The ending of that show, the ending of that episode, I guess really like, what was your favorite from Tales? Andrew on Instagram wants to know what was our favorite from Tales.
Favorite episode?
Yeah, favorite episode, I believe.
D was my favorite episode with.
Yeah, Renee, your favorite was D with Samantha, Samantha Morgan, right?
Morton. Yeah.
Mine was the one.
My favorite was with the very first one with Terry Crews, honestly. And that's, like I said, the only reason why I really liked his episode so much is because I was able to really gravitate towards the prepper part. His background in prepping and everything like that. I really thought it was cool to see them focus on people with that type of lifestyle, as far as prepping and being in this type of world and environment. Because that's like really like we talk about all the time, but that's like where this podcast really developed from. It developed from survival, of any kind of natural disaster or apocalypse type thing, is where the basement of where the podcast was formed from was survival and prepping and stuff. So that's the one I attached myself the most to, just because I thought it was fun, and I love Terry Crews. So
mine was the second one with the two women. What was their names?
Blair and Gina.
Blair and Gina.
Yeah,
that was a cool one too.
I'm a sucker for the Outbreak episodes. I really like when we saw it in Fear. That was awesome. Like I could do an entire season of Tales that was just about the first like 24 hours of the outbreak, or the first 48 hours, let's say, and just seeing like what different areas, what they experienced.
Yeah.
Because like what happens in New York City is different than what's going to happen in LA. New York City, you look at like I Am Legend, right? And what was one of the first things? What was one of the first things that the military did in I Am Legend? They blew the bridges. They tried to contain it to the island, and so that's going to be handled differently than it would be handled in LA or in Chicago or in Georgia, or in Atlanta. Like, I would just love to see different cities and how they responded to the outbreak.
Sure. Yeah. Look, man.
Well, that's our idea, so AMC can't steal that. So we're gonna make that's the series we're making.
Absolutely.
So
we'll be hiring soon. We'll reach out to everybody.
I know I've mentioned this before several times, and it's because we always come back to how much we always wish we could see more about what's going on and what happened here, what's going on there. But I swear to you people, if you guys ever want to pick up a book, you can listen to it too. But if you ever want to pick up a book, look up A.R. Wise and look up his Deadlock series.
Yep.
His first book, he breaks down how basically shit hits the fan so well. It's so descriptive, so disturbing, and like it's look. I think his book. I think his first book 1 through 4 on like Amazon or Kindle or whatever the hell it is, where you can go buy the books on like the electronically. I think it's like $2.99 for like the first 4 books.
Show, like in early
oh yeah, we had AR. Yeah, we had AR on a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, such a great description of like what happens, how it happens, or what obviously his view.
Yep.
But I mean, just graphic, good, like horror and just disturbing shit.
Yeah.
A ton going on in the chat over here in YouTube land. Zay was on Talking Dead. Am I seeing that right? Zay.
Her question was asked.
Oh, her question was asked on Talking Dead. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Because I was sitting there watching, I'm like, wait a minute, because he read her, Twitter name, and I was like, I know who that is.
That's great. So so Chris
Yeah.
Hardwick, she picked her question. That's amazing. That's really cool. Pi says if there was a zombie outbreak here, nobody would notice for months.
I saw something really funny on Pi's. I think it was Facebook. Facebook. Kara Nelson.
Oh yeah, Kara. Yeah.
Does also was in Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
And so Pi posted a picture of clouds, and so Kara just goes, "Oh wow, who knew that where you're from they have clouds or something like that?" I fucking died. I could not hold. I could not contain my laughter. I was like, that is something that we would say to Pi. Like, oh, you have clouds there? That's cool.
Yeah. Oh,
and for
nice.
those of you in Instagram land who don't know what we're talking, Pi lives in Finland. So in like the middle of, I don't really know what's in Finland to tell you the truth, but obviously she doesn't live where there's anything to begin with. So that's why she's saying if the apocalypse happened out there where she lives, no one would know, no one would even notice, And I guess that's actually a good idea. That's where to go. Go to Pi's house because there ain't going to be anything going on. They'll freeze to death, I guess, before anything happens.
So I got a really funny joke. What does someone from Finland say when they're done?
What does someone from Finland say when they're done?
Yeah.
Done with what?
Anything.
I don't know.
I'm finished.
Oh my god.
Oh, Ryan.
Oh. There goes the...
Ryan, don't.
What you were doing.
I'm done. Yeah. I'm finished.
I'm sorry, Pi. I had to. You know I love you. Nothing but love.
Okay. He said it. He said it.
She knew what was coming. She just knew.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I thought overall Tales was great. I liked every episode. Others more than some more than others and things. But I think it was a lot of fun. I don't know if they're going to renew it or not, but I think they should. I think they should give it another chance. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take. Look, if they want to release, then I guess go for another 8. It's like we said though with this episode, you would have never really known it had anything to do with The Walking Dead, or even like related to like no relation. If they showed the one walker, right, or the walkers that were at the very end in the tree, in that tree of life type situation where like they wrapped them up and swallowed them or whatever, or made them part of the haunting of the house and all that shit. Like, there's no link. And I get, like, I understand we talk about how this is a solo, stories of whatever, but that honestly had nothing to do
Listening to you guys talk about it almost reminded me too of like if you ever watch like Cloverfield, the movie, and then you watch like 12 Cloverfield Lane or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, and it's like not.
And
Yeah,
it's a horror movie, or it's like a suspenseful
it's
thriller.
a good movie. Yeah, and it's a good movie. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't fit with the original.
It's for the last like minute of the movie, and they open the door. You see like the aliens running across the screen, and I'm like,
oh, there it is.
That's why it's called Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
It's like Halloween 3. Halloween 3 does not feature Michael Myers, but it's a great slasher film.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same kind of thing. It's like, why did they do this? You know,
It's so true.
Pi says, but did we actually see that happen? She said, or did we see the fading consciousness of someone dying while stoned out of their mind? Look, Pi, you're right. They could have been high out of their mind with all this. Who knows? It's true. They could have been getting more and more drugged every time they ate her food or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever kind of curse. I mean, Zay says this was a celebration of like Hispanic month. So, you know, like, look, that culture. I was talking to a friend at work about this type of thing, about how we were actually talking about how they celebrate Halloween. You know, they go to the cemeteries and they drink.
Pico, was it?
No, it was Omar.
Oh, okay.
So like how they go to the cemeteries and they say, you know, like they celebrate the death and stuff. They, you know, they paint, they very colorful, or like, but they're like dead and all this stuff and everything. You know, like it's not uncommon for like Hispanic people with that background, you know, in like their in like their homes, their life, you know, to like, I don't want to say to curse people, but in her situation, you know, where it was her house or it was her family's house, that heritage of the house, to like for her to die and for her spirit to haunt them and like, you know, like make their lives miserable. That's a very like strong belief for them, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, like I said, I was having a full conversation with Omar because I watched the episode, you know, while he was around, and he was like, "Yeah, man," he's like, "This is like, you know, this is kind of like how we do it, you know, like don't fuck with the familia, you know."
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. Sorry, it was very important. Yeah, Zay says she loved the episode a lot. Pi says the lady could manage to keep her fancy house because she was growing stuffs for people to buy. Yeah, she might have had a whole room of dehydrated mushrooms for all we know. By the way, guys, if you are watching still from Instagram and you want to join us on YouTube, all you have to do is find us on YouTube, Beauty and the Beast, and you can subscribe and hop right in and join us in the chat online on YouTube. But yeah, you know, like I said, those are like my major like takeaways from the episode. Just like the creepy, scary part of, you know, how they did some of, you know, a lot of the things, and then just you know, how that dude Eric like really reminded me of like a young Shane. Like,
I didn't even think of that till you said that. That I was like, oh my gosh, he totally was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got about it. I mean, anything else from you on it, Renee? Or
No, not really, because I put it as it was my least favorite episode. Like I said, I liked the episode. I just like you were saying, it just didn't really fit with the apocalypse. You know, I think, but I guess that's why it's an anthology. So.
Yeah, and I mean, if they do decide to renew it and come out, you know, I'll watch. I'll give it another.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, I'm wondering too so when it was first announced, they had talked a lot about how they were going to. It could be new or previous characters that we already know and kind of thing. And I wonder if after the flagship series is over, if they would have more liberty to do those types with the characters we know. I mean, they could, you know, maybe there was some issues because really we only saw Alpha was the only recurring character. Right. But, you know, I wonder if once the flagship series over, could they have, because then it wouldn't matter. They're not going to spoil anything. They're not going to, whatever. And that's what I would like to see more of, is like side stories.
Sure.
With the, anything, Tyrese and Sasha, something about them beforehand, or I had read at one time they talked about side stories, like when what we saw on The Walking Dead was going on. Well, there was several characters not in that, a storyline or whatever, and that we could see, where these other they went off on a side mission and see those things, so there's a lot of potential to it. It just depends on, like I've said that it's all subjective to the creator's imagination. So
yeah, I like I said, I mean, yeah, I would be down if they renewed it, and I'd watch just because out of curiosity, whether I like it or not, I'd watch.
Yeah, and it's fun getting all these new actors in the Walking Dead family too. It's cool, like Terry Crews, he's in the Walking Dead family now. And all these, it's just kind of a cool thing to say. Here's another list of new actors in in our pool. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Going through the chat here, I just saw that Zay said sending prayers for her cousin because he's in a coma right now.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, 100% Zay. I mean, our condolences and everything. Well, I mean, hoping that everything comes out all right. He's in a coma, so obviously that's never a good thing, but
right.
Sending love and prayers, and hopefully, pulls through. I'm not sure obviously what happened, and that's neither here or there, but just just hope everything turns out all right for you and the whole family.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Definitely sending prayers. Oh, okay. Pi says, I actually hope we get another Tales. It's a fun concept. And I think that's really what you have to take with it. It's a concept. Each story is a concept of a writer. And whether you enjoy that concept or not, I mean, it is what it is. Yes, Pi. We're going to dive right into The Walking Dead now.
For you.
Are you ready? You've been very bossy this episode here.
Yeah, she's just been taking charge.
Pi's running the show tonight.
Is it because of the Finnish joke?
It might be the Finnish joke. I'm not sure. So Linda says, yeah, Pi, good idea. Linda literally been throwing up as we've been talking about Tales.
We're being ganged up on by the Europeans.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw Norman did get his Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I love that John Bernthal was there for him.
Yeah.
That was all. I mean, I knew Greg Nicotero was going to be there, but it was cool to see that John Bernthal was there too. And
right.
His mom was with him, and his son, and Diane. So yeah, it was very cool. Pi, we never want you to be quiet.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think Pi should be like she should be like the director or the director of the show. Like she should be like, okay, now you go to this, now you go to that.
Yeah.
Pi
us on task and keep it. Yeah. So.
Pi should be the director of the show. So she'd be like, okay, we're going to break.
Yep.
But we don't go to break, so we can't do that.
Yeah. If we did
go to break.
If we had a break.
Yeah, she'd be like, okay, guys, it's commercial break time.
We don't do that here.
Time to do the spot. Yeah, why am I doing this?
I don't know.
Time to do this. Time to do the sponsors.
You know what it reminds me of?
This episode brought to you by Brutus, the Blue Beta, PetSmart.
I think he needs like his own Disney show or something.
Brutus, the Blue Beta. That's my boy Brutus. You my boy Blue.
You know when you did this, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. You know what it reminded me of?
I don't know.
You know in football when they take the coaches take
the
boards and put it in front of their mouth.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about.
Let's put in the top secret play that no one ever knows about.
All right, we're gonna do a Hail Mary. We don't want them to know.
Yeah. So yeah, all right, let's go. Let's get into what would you guys like to talk about with Walking Dead coming back in about a week, right? It's a week. Less than a week now. Less than a week now.
5 days, 6 days. Okay.
Yeah. We
Oh, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm excited. I'm
Are you excited?
trying to think what else to say though.
I'm excited. I pooped. I'm excited.
No, I did pee when I got here. But no, I am excited, but I'm also like reserved at the same time. because it's not going to end the way that it's not. Stop looking at me like that, Christopher.
Talk.
No, you're making me uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Because I don't think it's going to end the way we want it to.
Yeah.
It's not. We already know that.
Yep.
It's been pretty much confirmed that.
And I've said that too. I said I don't think they can possibly end it to make anybody happy. It's just no one wants it to end, or well, I guess there are people, but the majority of us, we don't want it to end. And yeah, I mean,
Can I say something that's probably not popular opinion?
Yes.
We do it all the time.
You're asking? You usually don't ask.
Yeah, right? We do it all the time.
It's true. I do. Yeah, it's true. I usually do go.
You're unusually polite tonight.
Yeah. Against popular opinion, I'm actually can't wait for it to end. I really can't. I can't wait for it to end. And I felt this way for a while, and you know that. You're not deep down. We've all known we're not getting the satisfaction that we all crave and want with this ending. And I am all for freedom of writing. I'm all for freedom if you want to go and take your own paths and write your own stories and divert from the comic and do this and that or whatever. But honestly, how much more can you drag out of this? How much more could you drag out of this? Let's say they continued after the Commonwealth fell and they kept going. Where are we going? How much more are you going to milk out of, the Virginia /DC / Georgia area? Like, what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, eventually, you got to branch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where would you go next? We're going to merge with Fear? No thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, please don't ever, no.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to have these weird leaps and jumps between each episode, and all of a sudden we'd cross a path somehow. Just no. So where do you go? Like,
and I'm sorry, but the
do you
story,
cure it?
the story has
Like, what do you
become
do?
so predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2 of The Walking Dead, right? Was the prison, right? Season 2.
3.
That was unpredictable. We didn't know where that was going to go. I mean, yeah, you had an inkling because of the comic books, and I read the comics, but at the same time, you didn't know what direction they were going to go. Now I sit there at the beginning of the episode, and I'm like, all right, so they're all going to split up now. Okay, yep, there's me, half the group over here, half the group over there.
Yeah.
2 episodes, they're going to magically find their way back to each other. And that's a theme that's been repeated 12 times over, 14 times over the whole show. And it gets boring.
My main complaint ever since, probably season 3, after 3, 4, my main complaint is, you never explain to us how large or small the community's areas are. You would make it say, well, it takes a week to get to Hilltop. It takes you know what I mean? But yet it'll take a week to get there. But then in the same episode, you have people coming in and out
14 times.
what do you mean? I don't get it. I don't. Explain this to me.
I think that's part of the hardest part.
That was my thing with Riverside. Where'd that building come from?
Yeah. Where did the
apartment
apartment complex come from that's been there since it started?
Yep.
Yeah, because they traveled back and forth from Hilltop to there very quickly. And we never saw this building.
and I call that reverse Game of Thrones syndrome.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that.
Because Game of Thrones is infamous for killing off major characters and not giving a shit. I mean, I remember watching the original Game of Thrones and then them killing Ned Stark. Spoiler alert. But, seeing that happen, and I sat there and I go, well, fuck, that was the main character. That was one of the driving points of the plot.
Yep.
And they did that, and I went, okay, they're not afraid to kill off major characters.
Yeah.
And see, we had that in seasons 1, 2, 3. I mean, it was, you never knew, no one was safe. You didn't know who was going to die. They killed Sophia. They killed the teddy bear. I mean, the first kill was a child, and I mean, yeah, she was a walker, but it was a child. And that showed you they weren't afraid to push those, but then as it progressed, I mean, I honestly, you don't want to lose any of our faith as we're going out, let them all live happy ever after. Well, kill somebody for Pete's sake. you know, because it's they're just afraid now to do anything, you know. And I think just like with announcing everybody leaving, we knew, you know, that was so it was boring. It's like, okay, well, Rick's leaving. Well, okay, Michonne's leaving. You know, we knew when they were leaving, and that's you know, that's not good storytelling. You should those should be surprises. You know.
Yeah, I just, you know, I'm ready. Honestly, I'm ready for it to end. And like I said, I know it's going way against popular opinion, but I just can't see where else you would keep dragging this. You know,
And I mean, the last season was, in my opinion, pretty strong as far as recent seasons have been.
Sure, yeah.
I think comparatively to like.
Do you mean season 10 or just the first part of 11?
Well, the first parts of 11, I should say.
Okay, that's I was just making sure. Yeah,
and it's coming all fucked up because there's so many gaps.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was clarifying.
Yeah, it feels like micro seasons, but you know, I would rather them finish off at a strong point, and us to feel some form of completion and like some form of satisfaction. And not, you know, I don't think that they're going to give us an ending that anybody's going to be like, you know what, they rode off into the sunset, I'm happy. I don't think we're not going to get that satisfaction. But if I can sit there and I can say, you know what, I'm kind of okay with how they ended it. It's not how I wanted it to end, but you know what, I'm okay with it. I'm much happier than that, rather than drag this out for 19 seasons. And by the 19th season, you know, we're 65 years in the future, and
nobody cares.
Now the walkers, you know, have walkers, and they're fucking scooting along, like, you know, yeah, we get it.
You know, how come we haven't seen a walker with a walker?
I'm saying, write that down.
Where's all the old people at?
Write that down. Nursing home. First episode.
Well, they've already been there.
When they film our own show?
But they were already at a nursing home, remember? They were there with the Vatos.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
So where's all the old people with walkers?
I'm saying.
Where's all the old people? Where's the old people in a wheelchair? Where's
I want to see an old person zombie with the walker with
and
the
an
tennis balls on the bottom.
Oxygen tank.
With it around their with it in their nose.
Yeah, still ready to go.
Yep.
Well, you know, we're getting these smart walkers. Maybe we'll see that in part 3 here.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see some Z Nation. I want to see a zombie on a hoverboard.
Look,
you know what
Pi
I mean?
says we've only seen one naked walker. Where's all the naked people who were on the naked beaches when this happened? You know, like, where's all the nude beach people?
Yeah.
Do you really want to see more naked walkers? Not my thing. I guess I would prefer not to.
I'm not saying I want to, but, you know, where is it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's all the construction walkers? The dudes with the hard hats. We saw cops with SWAT gear and shit and all military people.
Yeah.
You know? But how come we didn't see, you know, Joe from the construction site down the road, you know, with the hard hat and the vest and all that shit?
Or where's Timmy the mall cop, you know?
Where is Timmy the mall cop?
I'm saying, I don't know.
Yeah. I want to see nudie zombies. Don't judge me, Renee.
I won't judge you.
Oh, goodness. Of course, Pi, you know, poor Renee is like Chris and Ryan are kids.
I have so many ideas that I just think AMC should hire me. I promise you, I'll help you out. Take good care of me.
It's too late now, man. It's too late.
They
Over.
got
Hey, there's
spinoffs.
spinoffs.
Well, yeah, got spinoffs. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I could write some good shows for you.
I honestly think I really think we got great ideas. We'd have a great idea board. You know what I mean?
I'm saying, I've been saying this. The Walking Dead Origins, and you let me come on, and each week it'll be like Tales, but it'll literally be a different city, it'll be a different town, it'll be a different suburb every week, and it's the outbreak.
And I really think that's what a lot of people's expectations of Tales was. It was going to be a different city, a different look at the outbreak, and we got that like twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe two, like the Terry Crews and Gina and Blair. Like,
Yep.
You know, like we got kind of like a little bit with those two. You know.
Damn it! You know what?
But Terry Crews, that was still in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the woods. You know.
Yeah. I mean, at least Alphas was on a boat.
Yeah,
I mean, they
true.
tried.
Yeah, Deez was on a boat. Yeah. I just, you know.
You know what?
I know. Everybody, a lot of what I'm hearing, like on Twitter and stuff, people are like, "Quit! We don't want to see more woods. We're done with the woods.
Yeah.
Let us see
Okay.
something else."
So, about woods. I'm okay with woods, but use them appropriately. Don't have them stand out in the middle of a fucking field that's 3 football fields wide, and then all of a sudden they get snuck up on by zombies.
Yeah.
Where do they come from? I don't fucking know. You've been staring
They're
at 3 hours in the
zombies.
distance. It takes them 4 hours to get to you.
Yeah.
From the tree line. But they surround you? I don't know how they got here.
I did, like there's things like we test this show all the time with like how like just how do you not hear them? You're in like have you ever put yourself in the woods at night?
Oh my god.
Okay, like I've been there. Okay, I've been in the woods at night, and like you hear some rustling. You hear a little,
snapping.
you hear like a twig, every now and then. You hear the little insects fucking doing whatever they do and shit. You hear everything because it's pitch black night. Everything is sleeping, except for you got like the possums and the raccoons and like whatever. But like, it's sometimes you could hear a fucking pin drop on a leaf. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not hear these feet dragging the ground? And how are they not tripping more? Mm-hmm. How do they have such great vision at nighttime?
They ate their carrots.
They're getting my blood. My blood. Bryce, I see you.
Hey,
I see
Bryce.
you.
I wore the low cut for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
My boy Bryce.
Getting some love on Instagram.
I'll be
I like
seeing you
it.
in October, big guy.
Big Groot.
Big Groot.
Big Groot.
I had a stroke there for having something in my bed.
See you in October, Big Groot.
Big Groot. He's as tall as a fucking tree.
He is.
Jesus Christ.
Old seasons are always the best. Yeah, I gotta say, like 1 through 3.
1 through 3 are my favorite.
1 through 3,
yeah.
absolute favorites. My most favorite scene in the whole TV series is Michonne appearing for the first time with the walkers and
Yes,
cloak,
that was
the sword, comic book, beautiful.
Yeah, it was like she walked off the comic book
right
page.
off the fucking cover, like beautiful. That is the Walking Dead that I love.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even seeing like the Negan silhouette with Lucille dripping the blood, like even that's a comic book cover right there.
Yep.
Like that was iconic.
Yep.
That's the stuff that I miss.
Yep. I know. I don't know. So, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it being over. I really am.
Yeah.
That's how I'm getting ready for it. I'm getting ready for it by getting over it, And I know, like I said, that is not popular opinion, but
No, but like I said, I would rather it end on a strong note.
hold it down.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Okay, major calls.
I gotta get a charger and because my phone's gonna die.
Oh yeah, poor Bryce. We'll lose him in a second here.
We're gonna lose Instagram.
No, like the Flash, right? I'm a huge Flash fan, and I love what they've done with the Flash. And I think that Grant Gustin plays a phenomenal Barry Allen. Not a dig on John Wesley's ship and the fact that he played Barry Allen in the 90s, but I think Grant Gustin did a phenomenal job. But if you watch the last couple of seasons, it's gotten so predictable. It's gotten so far off the mark, in my opinion, that like me as a Flash fan, I mean, I one of my biggest tattoos is the Flash. Like it's on my leg. I have such a huge tattoo because I love the Flash. I grew up reading the comics, and they just announced that this season's the final season. And so I think they're instead of doing like an 18 episode season, they're doing like a 12 episode season. But the director, the executive producer, Greg Berlanti said that they're doing that for a very specific reason. Like they're going to have a beginning, a middle, and end of the season, and it's going to wrap up a lot of storylines. It's going to make people happy, and I believe them. I would rather them end it on a strong note for me to go, wow, that was a great 9-year run, rather than me go, oh wow, I'm so glad we had this for 20 years. And it's like it's the same regurgitated bullshit. That's what I'm afraid of.
So do you think we're going to see Rick before the end?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, I don't think we'll see him again until the Rick and Michonne show.
Yeah, I feel like they've known for quite some time that they were doing, before San Diego, before they announced the series, their spinoff. They've known that those movies are done. They're turning it into a spinoff, and they've known that for quite some time. So I don't know why they would put him in at the end of the series, the flagship series, when they're saving him for the spinoff, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, in my opinion, That was weird. Okay. If they brought Rick back right... Oh, shit. If they brought Rick back right now, it wouldn't make sense in the story. It would be way too confusing, and it would be purely to satisfy the Rick lovers. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how satisfying that'd be.
Mm-hmm. Ask Pie. Pie would probably be very satisfied if they brought back Rick.
Well, Linda would. Linda loves Rick.
Yeah, how you get this one there?
All right, relax.
All right, Sherlock.
So I have two. Hold on, Instafam. You guys can talk to me. Don't be all weird and shit, staring at my ass, bending over, Ryan.
Want to see you react to that, you know?
I can't find my stand.
No, Christopher destroyed things, not me. That's him making all that noise.
Well,
let's see how you do this one, asshole.
You're not very...
Chris is plugging things in because he's losing power on his phone.
Yeah.
They were asking what you're doing. Because he's got Instagram up for those people to watch, and so he doesn't want to lose them.
I'm going to lose them because... How's that angle? I can't find my phone stand.
Yeah, your silver one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just don't hit the table and don't move.
Bitch.
If it falls, you're dead.
So, Chris, what do you think? I asked Ryan about Rick. Do you think we'll see Rick before the end?
No. Okay. Absolutely not. I for what? Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that works too.
No, I agree. I don't think we will either. I just wondered what your guys' thoughts were.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. What would it bring to the ending of the show?
Absolutely nothing. It would make all the Rick lovers happy.
Yeah,
about it.
You'd be doing it to satisfy a group of people. Yeah, I don't really see it being necessary. Like,
so you know what I equate that to is for the Star Wars fans out there, right? Anybody that's watched Obi-Wan, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I love Liam Neeson. I love that man in an unhealthy way. But
tell me more, right?
Yeah, no. Liam Neeson is truly, truly one of the kindest celebrities I've ever met in my entire life. And I adore that man. But they could have taken out the scene with him at the end of Kenobi, with him and Obi-Wan, and it would not have impacted the story in any way, shape, or form. They had Liam Neeson reprise his role as Qui-Gon Jinn, as a Force ghost, for no reason other than to give people that satisfaction. Mm-hmm. Because ever since the Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, when Yoda sat there and he looked at Obi-Wan and he said, I can teach you how to talk to your old master.
Oh, okay. I thought you said pass the cheese. Sorry. Please continue, Master Yoda.
Yeah, anyway, I'm done. It was just to make people happy. It had nothing to do with the story.
Yes.
And same thing with Rick.
Right. Yep.
So one exciting thing that we have to look forward to, this isn't a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
But Jerry gets a sword at some point in these final episodes.
Yes. He'd been practicing, and I guess he sent Kang a video of him practicing with it.
So Hardwick was laughing about that because he's like, so you're already on the show, but you're auditioning to do this. Mm-hmm. So he had been practicing. So he was channeling his inner Jesus and Michonne, and he's doing this sword play. And I guess Kang said it was impressive. He's very good with it. So he's excited to show that off to the fans.
I mean, look, they took away his axe.
I know.
So like the videos of him training with the axe that he had.
Yeah.
Was impressive. I mean, he was using a legit battle axe when that thing was
like a two-handed battle axe.
Yeah. He lost, and like he even said, this is how I've lost all my weight by like training like a 20-pound axe head. So I mean, you give him a sword, and I'm sure it's just as impressive, and so I'm looking forward to that.
I thought that was an interesting tidbit they shared. thought that was
Are
really
we gonna
cool.
see him in October?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have plans for our panels that I need to talk to you guys about. So
Ooh, spicy.
yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for my arm wrestling match with Cooper.
And what's his
And
name?
I'm gonna see.
And Michael James Shaw.
Michael
I'm gonna see if Michael James Shaw would like to jump in on an arm wrestling match as well.
So you guys want a threesome?
Nope. You can ask him. You do that.
No. You.
No.
You. Cooper,
I want
Michael.
you to ask Michael James Shaw if he'd like to have a threesome. Go ahead.
You, Cooper, Michael. Yeah.
You got the balls to say that to his face?
Huh?
Huh?
No, absolutely not.
Huh? Huh?
I'll say it. I'll just get on a chair.
Yeah.
There, and I'll say it to his face.
I'm getting ready.
All right, Renee, calm down, okay? Whose side are you on? All right.
Getting ready.
Did you guys see what I posted? The camp posted the other day. Don't forget Michael James Shaw is going to be there, and I somehow being excited, and I put it on my story on Instagram, and I said, I'm like, we get to interview him or something like that, and then I tagged Michael James Shaw, and I said, I'll try to be professional.
That's awesome.
Yes, but I sent a message to Little Miss Princess there. Haven't got anything back yet.
Yeah.
So
She's I'm trying to remember what she's doing because she wasn't live on Talking Dead. She was there via video,
Right.
and so I feel like I don't know.
She's still doing
if
her
she's
play?
working. That's what I wonder if it was. She might have another one even. But anyway, so yeah, she could be busy. But yeah, it'd be really cool. So.
yeah. Yeah, no.
But yeah, so I was trying to think what other things they shared on Talking Dead that were interesting.
There. You mean?
Oh, there'll be more F-bombs.
Yeah,
I saw that.
There'll
Yep.
be. What'd she say? Would she call them delicious or something like?
She called them some key delicious
Yes,
F-bombs.
delicious F-bombs.
That's what
yes.
King said, yeah. So I'm like, okay.
Yes. So
I
the-
just want to see Negan just like be surrounded by zombies and go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's kind of that'd be great for everybody,
Right?
You know.
I just want to see JDM just drop a big fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Not the big fuck, a big fuck.
We'll get that with Maggie in the
baby.
in the spin-off series.
Yeah, him making the baby with her.
What is? I don't know. I feel like there's like too many loose ends to tie up. What are we doing
there
with
are.
this
They're
man's
not-
wife and child?
Yeah.
And how is that going to play
And-
into City of the Dead?
Yeah, I just
Unpopular opinion: is she going to die while pregnant?
a la
That's
a la
what
Lori,
everybody said.
huh?
Yeah, everybody says that's what's going to happen, and it's going
She's gonna
to
get Lori's death.
Stupid. Yeah, right. It's just a repeat, and why do you introduce her then? Why? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The only way, so like she's stepping away from fucking little Glenn Jr. there. So
Herschel.
yeah, so she's like, I call him Glenn Jr. So like
I know.
Maggie's saying see you later to her kid. Negan's saying see you later to his wife and kid. Like,
Well, how do we know Herschel's not going with her?
no.
So here's a theory. When they were casting for Dead City, they have cast a girl who is a little bit older, and one of the things we kind of speculated was, is there a time jump? And this has to do with something with his child. Is she older? I mean, because this kid was probably 10ish or 8ish, I don't know. And that she looked to be in that age group.
Mm-hmm.
And so is there a time jump, and it's something to do with his kid, where that sends him off on this? Now, that doesn't answer your question about Herschel, but that was one thing that I read, and a couple people we've talked about that.
Yeah. Well, there's
possibility.
gonna be a time jump anyway, from what we know, right? Like, aren't we supposed to see like an older Judith and everything?
I haven't heard that. I don't know.
Uh,
You mean in the series?
yeah, in the ending, like in the end.
Yeah.
So like,
I have no idea.
Well, because
yeah, I
a
really
time
don't
jump
know.
in
I
the
heard some-
comics isn't like the
There's a 20-year
Yeah.
time jump.
and it's
But
like
that's-
Carl telling the story of like
Right.
right.
So it's pointless. I mean, I suppose if Judith's telling the story, but I don't think that they would do a 25-year because you're not gonna. I mean, what Daryl's gonna be 80 years old. I mean, or like in France. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So if you have a 20-year time jump,
Let me tell you something, you little shit.
Was this time that I wore walker ears around my neck?
Um,
There was
But
a
you know what I'm
CGI
saying,
deer. It was crazy.
yeah, I
if
mean,
there's that big of a time jump, like if it follows a comic and you have a 20-year time jump,
how do you have the time
you know,
jump, but then you
but-
have the spin-offs? Like what
right?
are we,
Like, how are you going to make that
Well,
work? That
I think that you could make it work easily. So if you, let's say at the end of Walking Dead, they jumped ahead 25 years, right? And then it's like a How I Met Your Mother moment, right? Where the entire show has been this retelling of like their history, and it's actually Judith taking the place of comic book Carl and telling the story to like some people in her community, and Judith is the leader of this community, and she's just kind of like telling what happened. Then you have let's say that in Walking Dead right now, let's say the year is 2030. Let's say I don't know what it is. Let's say it's 2030, but you jump ahead to 2055. But then Dead City could take place in 2040. You know what I mean? So you could have that gap. It doesn't have to be like as long as it's left
But you're gonna have,
open-ended.
but yeah, sure. But you're gonna have. I mean, you're gonna have a. I mean, what? Negan's probably 50-ish, so you're gonna have a 70-year-old Negan.
yeah.
I mean, they could age him up just like they aged down Mark Hamill for Luke
But
Skywalker.
they're not. If you see the pictures, they're not. They've done nothing. I mean, he looks like Negan.
Yeah.
He looks like Negan. You know. So and same with Maggie. They haven't aged her up.
Maybe
at
they all suffer from Paul Rudd syndrome where they don't age.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, because
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
he
he
looks
does look
exactly-
exactly the same as he did 20 years ago.
I mean, look at Chris Evans, right? When he played old Cap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They aged him up.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But
I do think that's probably the easiest way to put together like how they separate themselves from basically their families, their kids, is like, so Herschel and Negan's daughter and his wife, maybe Maggie's like, watch my son while we're gone kind of thing. And like, so maybe Negan's wife stays alive with their child, and then she becomes like Herschel's caretaker kind of thing, while they go off and adventure new lands together, having sex. And then I guess they end up full circle somehow.
it's hard to say.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Like, so you have the spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
What's the spin-off bring us to? Where does the spin-off end? What's the purpose of the spin-off? I mean, I know these are all things that we should get answered, but you have two main characters going a spin-off. Now they're in New York, or whatever, and but por qué? But why? What's the end game of the spin-off? Are you gonna go find new land colonies to take, and then you're gonna loop back around and be like, hey, we'll be back in 7 freaking years to get you guys and bring you to the place we found?
Like fucking Roanoke.
Yeah. Like, how do you leave your kids and your wife behind and just go, well, like, see you later.
Like Michonne.
Yeah, I mean, Michonne,
Don't make excuses. She left her kids.
she did, but she's going to find her husband. Negan's leaving his wife. You know what I mean? Maggie's
you
leaving
don't
her
know
son.
that, though.
I get it,
Yeah.
because she doesn't have a husband anymore, so she's just kind of like, well,
Yeah.
fuck it. I feel like she's on like this, if I die, I die kind of thing. Like, who cares? My husband's dead. I have my son. He'll be fine. Kind of shit. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't.
It's all speculative, and I just hope that these spin-offs are different than the flagship series. You know what I mean? I want to see something new. I want to see something very different. They keep saying that that's what they're going to do, And I hope they do, because I mean, I don't just want to watch The Walking Dead again. You know, I mean, I love The Walking Dead, obviously, but you know, it's, if you're gonna make a spin-off, let's do this the right way and see something completely different. Which they've said, like with the Rick and Michonne, everybody, I read all this stuff and everybody's like, oh, they're gonna reunite and blah blah blah. That's not happening, Alexander. I mean, like, these sets are gone. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not going back to Alexandria. You know, so but Rick and Michonne have been through some stuff, you know, since we've last seen them. Because regardless of how they come together or whatever happens, and I hope we see that story, you know, they're not the same people that left, you know, so we should see something vastly different.
Yeah, it's though the whole thing, we got Linda talking about Daryl's spinoff in France, and I still don't get it. How did he end up in? And that is, if you sit there, like, you put some thought into this, okay? Yeah, Michonne got on a boat. You know, okay, so let's say they get another boat, okay? It's got to be some type of sailboat, because you can't convince me they have that much fuel.
Right.
To go from the East Coast all the way to France. And then when you get to why, like, they need to answer number one, why France? Something needs to happen, in my opinion, in these last 8 episodes to make Daryl go, yeah, I gotta go to France. Like, what? Excuse me?
Dr. Jenner comes back from the dead. No.
What the fuck? What do you mean?
Daryl, the secret to the
showrunners have already said, that these 8 episodes aren't setting up the spinoff.
Yeah.
It's finishing this story.
So,
so
like,
yeah,
that means we gotta wait.
Learn that at the beginning.
That means we have to wait for the first episode of the spinoff.
Yeah, which hasn't started filming.
To find out how he, like, what?
Yeah. Well, because I read something, like the one, I can't think of his name right now. He's like the AMC president or something. I don't know what he is, but I thought I read that in a quote that he said was something that Daryl, like, wakes up and finds himself there or something.
Yeah.
So.
Guys, I know.
How'd I get here?
Guys, I know it's impossible by boat. That's why I'm saying. But I'm sorry.
It doesn't make sense.
Did he find one of the space fucking X rockets and just be like, push a button, let's go?
He just put it horizontal instead of vertical.
Did he say, let's grease this monkey and push the button? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's go.
I don't get it. There's so many questions. Many questions.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely. I get they're trying to tie this variant thing, you know, that we saw in the coda of World Beyond. I understand that part of it, but
I'd be more convinced. I'd be more convinced if you left Daryl in the U.S. and he's riding his motorcycle through wherever,
and the French military shows up.
No, and you come across a barge, a container ship or something that went awry and crashed into the coast somewhere, and he stumbles across this thing because there's containers on it, and it's from France, and then here's your opening.
There's variant walkers
here's
in
your
it
maybe it was some kind of ship that was doing tests or some shit out at sea, so it wouldn't contaminate the mainland, and there you go. Like, he comes across this ship that had these, testing going on it. But you're going to take the man and make him go to Europe. How?
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't understand. I mean, why not just make a new series in France with these variants and new people? Why Daryl? Why do we? I mean, Daryl's my favorite. I'm glad he has a spinoff, but why not just show us a different part of the world and how they're handling it without a character we know having to be involved? Let's just make a brand new series. New people, new everything, but. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they do with it, but I don't know how they're doing this. And I think Dead City looks like it will be different the way they're setting this up, with the the city being cut off or the island being cut off, and the walker. I mean, a horde of 1 million walkers, man.
But that's believable at least.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that one, it is going to be different than what we've seen, because you're going to be in a city. You're not going to be in the woods, you know. So right there is a huge step. And I mean, they're traveling via zip lines.
And I think, but you know what? That is more realistic. And you're giving us a bigger look at what an inner city would look like, how many years ahead or whatever. Yeah, people would probably go rooftop to rooftop using zip lines. That's a feasible freaking thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
absolutely,
almost like the Ewoks in Star Wars, living in the trees.
Yeah, like I mean, because you would be all rooftop communities. You wouldn't want to go down. You know, like.
Well, you couldn't have with 1 million walkers or more. I mean, how are you? Yeah, that's. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Is that like is that Ready Player One, where like the houses are like all in the shipping containers or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Pi says Dead City would be believable if it was from the beginning of the Z-Epoch, but 10 years into the apocalypse, really? So look, in the beginning of the apocalypse, to have Dead City, you wouldn't have any establishment as far as communities or people. I'm almost like I'm guaranteeing that they're going to have rooftop communities on top of buildings, like who have been able to develop ways to go out for food, or like in
grow
exactly. I mean, agricultural ways, kind of like what they did in Fear on the tower, the lookout tower there. Your rainwater, your gardening, everything else. And your access into certain buildings from the roof down is obviously how you would, how you would do it. That's basically the main way. Like, you wouldn't want to go on the ground.
Yeah.
And like the other things that I would do, like in that kind of situation, is think about like rooftop bombs. Like you could propane, tanks, gas canisters, and you could literally just drop them from the top of a building and blow up and light them all on fire and kill a horde at a time, without having to worry about guns, ammo, making noise, or anything.
Yeah.
So, what?
Pi's comment.
How the living heck they haven't done anything to their rampant walker infestation during those 10 years. Well,
if you don't have to, why would you?
Hold on. Do you know how many people live in New York City? And more than 1 million, Pi. Just because you live in a population of 10, okay?
Damn.
Like, you could spend years killing hundreds of thousands and still have millions to
There's
go.
8.38 million people as of 2020 in New York City.
And so, let's say a quarter of them were able to escape during the first couple of days, weeks, months. You still got 5 to 6 million in the city. Out of that 5 or 6 million, you probably, what number would you like to throw?
You would have to kill to effectively kill every person in New York City. Over the course of 10 years, you'd have to kill 838,000 people a year.
Yep.
Or walkers.
That's and that's losing people probably to deaths, because they're risking themselves to kill them. So you're losing your population. So as you're trying to wipe them out, you're getting wiped out a little bit at a time, because you're taking risks and you're trying to kill them. So let's say your community is 100,000 people that are alive, maybe out of 6 million.
I mean, you think realistically, what percentage of people in the United States in the world of The Walking Dead do you think are living versus dead?
Yeah, it's very small.
And I say dead as either walkers or like dead. Mm-hmm. I would say less than 10%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna say like you're probably throughout the whole nation.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a guess and say that throughout the whole nation you have 200,000 people that are alive and well.
How many?
200,000.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 200,000.
Because as of 2020, the population of the United States was 329.5 million people. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say 200.
I'm just saying that 200,000 were not infected or were still alive, weren't wiped out during the actual chaos when shit hit the fan and people were being attacked and ripped to pieces and everything. I'm gonna say 200,000.
All right. So if we had 200,000, 300. What was the fucking number?
396.
329.
329.
329. 5.
There's a math for you guys.
So 200,000 people is 0.006% of the country's population.
Yeah. Crazy. And you got to wipe out 300 million people.
But Pi, how do you? The Hudson is wide in New York City. It's wide. How would you kite them into the Hudson?
Kite? Would you say kite?
Kite, not like it's kiting is like a gaming term, but like how would you lead them into the Hudson?
Well, because they can't swim, right? That's the theory. Is walkers can't swim.
Well, yes, but theoretically, you would have to have some way of luring them into the Hudson.
Yeah,
and not have them lured towards you.
You gotta have the Pied Piper out there luring all the rats into the fucking water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, I getting back to the show, I think it's going to be interesting. I want to see the ideas and concepts they've come up with. People, like besides the zip lining, I think it'd be really cool to see like a group of people who are like excellent skateboarders. Shit, like, you know what I mean? Like shit, like, because it's quiet. You got bicycle. A lot of people bicycle ride in New York City. They skateboard in New York City. Yep. Like, I want to see like these nuances of like, all these concepts of like quiet transportation. Like, how are you able to like navigate places
and like rooftop gardens and shit like that would be so cool. Like,
so like, but I like think about it, like you have like groups of people who like, you have guys who have the bicycles, you have maybe some skateboarders and shit. I don't know.
Okay, that's a great point, Pi. But what year did drones become popular? The Walking Dead has been around for 12 years. I don't know. I graduated high school in 2010. That's when The Walking Dead came out. I don't think drones were that... drones were very inaccessible at that point in time.
We only saw one person with a drone, and that was a doctor.
Exactly.
He was a scientist.
Yeah.
And so, if you think about it, the technological advancement of society at that point has halted completely. Mm-hmm. We are not making technological advancements at that point. So any drones that were there were probably very scarce and very hard to get a hold of.
And the experience using them.
But I get what you're saying. There is. Yeah. I love this back and forth. I'm engaging in the back and forth. But there is plenty of ways that they could probably do this. I agree.
Yeah.
And from what it sounds to, it's a very unlawful. The island, it's been cut off since the beginning, and it sounds like everything's very unruly, and that they don't have a lot of Rick Grimes groups where they're working together and trying to do these things either. It sounds like it's very sketchy.
Wild West.
Yeah. So that could be part of it too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. Ryan's going finger crazy over here on the keyboard. Why couldn't you just say it?
Well, because you guys were talking, I want to interrupt.
Oh, okay. You didn't post anything.
What the fuck?
Hey, where's your comment go?
I don't know. Okay, I give up.
I see it. I can see your comment.
That's
AMC. There it is.
Okay, that's AMC telling me to stop. No, I got it. I know what you mean.
So Linda said that they'll found a cure to save everyone at the end, but no, there's not. No,
but didn't Nick Otero and like what the hell's his name?
Kirkman.
Then they said that The Walking Dead would never be about the cure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's changed now that Kirkman's not as involved.
Yeah, he's still pretty involved though.
But not to the same capacity as he was when he made that statement, though.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
I'm looking. Brutus is trying to get food under a stone.
I give him some more food.
Yeah, I'll feed him a little bit. He's literally like. That's why I call him Brutus. He's literally trying to like muscle one of the gems, stones to get to a piece of food. He's definitely my fish. Yeah, he's definitely.
Oh, thanks, Pi.
Trying to move.
I love you too, Pi.
Trying to move a mountain to get some food.
Yeah, he's got a head down ass.
Yeah, he is head down ass. Yep, that's my boy.
So have you guys seen this is not Walking Dead, it's zombie-ish, but The Last of Us, have you seen the trailer?
Yeah,
I just think it looks great.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yep,
I'm excited.
I found out in the pre-show through Ryan that I'm an episode behind on
House of Dragon.
I literally thought I watched the last episode.
So I'm not going to say it because I know that everybody can watch because it just came out on Sunday. And we're not primarily a Game of Thrones podcast. But I mentioned a certain character's death by fire. And Chris was like, huh?
Literally.
And I said, dude, I just asked you if you were caught up. And he's like, I am. And I'm like, okay. So I pulled up on YouTube. And I show him the clip. And he goes, I don't remember any of this. And I went, well, you're an episode behind then.
Yep. I found out the hard way. I literally thought that I saw the last episode when they had the wedding. And then after the wedding, it's like, you know, and for those of you who haven't seen...
I wanted more death in the wedding. I wanted another red wedding.
Dude, that was pretty bad, though.
I mean, that was gruesome. That was like Glenn getting his skull bashed in gruesome.
It was. I
mean, that was like fucking straight.
Yeah.
Fisting him in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's my kind of night.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Yeah. So I mean, so we'll spin off of The Walking Dead. We'll do a little pop culture here and talk about a bunch of things. Like we usually do a little talking about what we've been watching, what we've been enjoying lately, besides Walking Dead stuff.
Yep.
Wrapped up She-Hulk.
Yep.
That was good.
That was very good.
That was a good wrap up to their first season there. Finishing it with a battle with Titania.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert. There's a fight. She gets her revenge on Titania. She kind of earns her reputation back. Our man Steve Coulter.
Love Steve.
I guarantee he's going to be a mainstay in this show, which is great for him. It's great for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he plays the part very well.
Imagine like a Law and Order, but for the Marvel universe. Yeah. Like that's all I'm picturing is that like Coulter is like the ADA. You know what I mean? And he's like defending all these like superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, superhero takes like this dry cleaner to like small claims court because they fucked up his cape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me see. Pi, Linda, Zay. All right, so everyone's up to date on. Looks like they're up to date on House of Dragons. Jeffrey Dahmer. That was.
I watched the first episode last night. I was
disturbing.
Yeah.
Shit.
Why? Because it's real.
Yeah. Like, and yeah, like it's that happened.
Yep.
And then because the episode ends, and then you're like, wait a minute. That was real.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, you knew a lot of this stuff from the media and things like that or whatever, but this was, I was, the first episode, I could imagine being the dad sitting there listening to the police officers tell me that about my child.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, he probably knew there was something off about his kid because people know that kind of stuff, but you never would have thought that, you know, and that was just that poor guy.
You know, I equate this to a local serial killer that Chris and I are probably very familiar with by a man by the name of Kendall Francois.
Yep.
And Kendall Francois in the 80s, I believe it was arrested for murdering a lot of young women and prostitutes in Poughkeepsie, where we live. And
hold on. Side note, the man was a janitor at one of the middle schools.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yep.
Like a predominant middle school in our area.
Yep.
He was a janitor.
And everyone said what a nice guy he was.
The guy...
They always say that.
I knew him. He was a very nice guy.
Yep.
And in some ways, if you talk to certain people, he was cleaning up the streets of Poughkeepsie.
Yes.
But...
And you know what? One of the creepiest things that I will ever find out in my life is that my mom is a twin, and she and her twin sister, my Aunt Janet, at the time of the murders, were like fresh out of high school, were like, you know, college age, and they had an apartment in Poughkeepsie, like 6 houses down from Kendall Francois' parents' house, where Kendall Francois was living and killing these women in the basement. And the only reason he got caught is because the next door neighbor smelled a smell coming from the basement, the little tiny window. And so what the neighbor said to him, hey, like, what's that smell? And he said he had a dead cat.
No, he said he had a family of dead raccoons.
Dead raccoons, that's right.
In the attic. But it didn't make sense because the smell was coming from downstairs.
And so the neighbor called the cops. And the cops knew that at this point, I think like 6 to 8 women were missing at that point in time from Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
And they went to his house with a warrant and found these women.
Yeah.
And they were like in the walls and shit. Like it was crazy. And like my mom and her sister had an apartment like 6 houses down from this guy, and they were in the age group of his target group. You know, absolutely insane. And he actually died a couple years ago
he died in jail.
In jail
From cancer.
He was upstate somewhere in one of the prisons upstate. I thought
he started out in county.
Yep.
He was in county for a while.
He went to Fishkill.
Yep.
Which is a processing facility. Then he got shipped out to one of the state hospitals. But yeah, he still creepy.
Yeah. You guys could look that up. That's real information that happened right in our backyard. I mean, you can look up Kendall Francois on Google, and it'll all pop up for you.
And it was creepy too, because like when I was a freshman in college, my cousin was a biology professor, and she has since retired, but she was also my advisor. So she set up my schedule for me, and she goes, and I had to take a biology credit for my first semester, and she goes, "You should take biology with one of my friends," and he's like this really great guy. Blah blah. Okay, cool. So one of the first days, this kid raises his hand, and the professor, I forgot his name, he calls on him, and he's like, you know, what can I do for you? And he goes, is it true that you taught Kendall Francois? And he was like, yeah, I don't really like to talk about it, but yeah, I did. And basically, like, throughout the semester, we ended up getting it, like, towards the end of our semester, we ended up getting the full story out of our professor, and he was saying how brilliantly smart this guy was. And that he said he was, like, the closest thing he's ever seen to, like, a savant. And he was like, just the way that he solved like complicated science equations and stuff like that was insane. And he didn't need paper, he didn't need a computer, he just did it all in his head. And the guy was a sociopathic serial killer. Like that's insane to me. Like that's what fascinates me about the mind of a serial killer. Not because I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool what you're doing. Like you know, it's the how the thought process goes in their head.
Careful.
Right?
Careful.
NSA is really watching right now. You know? Hey, hold on a second.
This guy says he's fascinating. Huh?
I'm going to get home. There's going to be an all blacked out car in front of my house.
Just in case.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've been watching The Serpent Queen with Samantha Morton, and oh my gosh, it is so good. The 3rd episode just came out Sunday, and oh my gosh, I love period dramas, and I love that historic, because there's a lot of history in those. Even they don't always follow exactly, but there's a lot of history in them and things. And this is just, I mean, it's just bonkers. I cannot believe how brutal this, queen was and the things she did, and it's fascinating. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's on the watch list. As soon as I'm done catching up with it, I gotta watch another House of Dragons apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. A lot of people were commenting about it, but they're doing a fantastic job with House of Dragons. It's it's, to me right now, the way, like, it's better than Game of Thrones right now. It's just, I don't know, the story. Anytime you start from the beginning, like anytime you give an episode, a series on something, and then you come back with like the prequel, and you get to learn like the fucked up beginnings of things, and then, like, and this isn't even like the beginning, but this is before Game of Thrones by like 100 and something years. I think it's 100 and something years prior. And then they're going to do another one that's, I think, 600 years prior that they're going to come out with. And then they're going to do a Jon Snow one. It's like, they're going to absolutely kill it with everything that they have coming out, Game of Thrones wise. And then, November, you have Yellowstone coming back. You also have, was it 1923? 1923.
Yeah.
And then I believe it's titled The King of Tulsa. I believe is the title they're going with. And that's going to be the one that Sylvester Stallone's doing with the mobsters. And that's another Tyler Sheridan written, directed show. And that's going to be based off like the mobsters, era and stuff like that. So... a lot of good stuff coming.
They have their Netflix and Chills series, for Halloween. So So Thomas Francis Murphy, who played Byron, one of Jadis's, her like loyal companion, on in the Heapsters and all that. He's going to be in a movie called Mr. Harrington's Phone, and it sounds really good. And it's based on a Stephen King story. And then, of course, Cabinet of Curiosities comes out, and Andrew Lincoln will be in the first episode of that. It's an anthology, so he'll be in that. And then Demetrius Gross, who played the twins on Fear. Josiah, the ones, So he's going to be in the third. I think he's in the third episode. And then what else was it? Oh, and the Good Nurse is coming out October 26th. And Kim Dickens, who plays Madison, is in that, and Noah Emmerich, who played Dr. Jenner, is also in that. And that's based on a true story. So it's a nurse who, over I think the course of 16 years, he was slowly, I think he was putting insulin in people's their IV bags and killing them. And he killed I forget. I can't remember how it was 40. It was a lot of patients. Jesus. But yeah, so that series is based on him. And then
there was a series on Netflix that we just came across a couple of weeks ago, and it was about a doctor in a fertility clinic and how he was using his sperm on all these women.
Oh, is that an older movie?
No, it was like a show, like a series, like an actual documentary thing.
Oh,
it's a real life thing. No, it's like a real life, like this doctor was literally, these women were coming for fertility stuff, and he was supposed to be doing their IVF, but he was using all his own sperm, and this guy had basically spread his seed across the fucking nation, man. Yes. Yeah, crazy. There's so much crazy shit out there.
Yeah, right.
People are fucking crazy. Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. See, Linda heard about it. Yeah, it's just
that's I didn't see that one. That's nuts.
Yeah, if I can, my phone's being used for Instagram, but you just look it up on Netflix or Google. It's a documentary on Netflix.
That's insane.
Absolutely disturbing. You're going to this man because you want to start a family, and this dude's yeah, sure, no problem. And then he's just you're
nutting in a cup.
Yes, Ryan. Thank you.
I'm not going to be PC about it. Fucking fapping into a cup.
It's a time to go. We got to cut Ryan off. He's getting
ornery.
He's becoming edgy, Ryan.
I'm ornery.
He's very edgy.
He unbuttoned his shirt there.
Yeah. So woo! Goddamn, you did, didn't you?
I got hot.
Some bitch. Some bitch. Yes, the next one will be 1923. Because Linda said
Linda asked if
1883 is over.
was coming, and I said sadly it was one episode or one season.
Yep. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah,
but
there's
5 days to kick off The Walking Dead, and we'll be here next week to see how we feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see how the first episode of the final season goes.
Of the final 8. It's crazy to think that, though.
I know, right?
8 episodes.
It's just eight episodes to go, and we're done.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm bittersweet. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm happy. I'm sad. Go away. Come back. You know what I mean?
I'm just bitter. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. You can only.
It will be.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe the first one's really great.
I don't think so.
I know, but
she goes. I know, but
let me have my moment.
I don't think we'll have a great episode until the fourth one in, and then they're gonna give us 4 bangers, and then be like,
no, they'll give you 3 bangers, and the last one that you'll hate.
Well, yeah, 3 bangers.
4, 5, 6, and 7 will be
4, 5,
oh, I know.
6,
right. Yeah, 4, yep.
and 7, and then you'll get 8, and you're like, meh. You hyped me up. You hyped me up for this.
Something has to happen.
Go sit down.
Something has to happen because this is my livelihood here. I mean, they've got to do something because, this is my life too.
There's plenty to write about. Don't worry.
We'll see.
You got the spin-offs and everything else. You're gonna have to broaden your horizons, Renee. You're gonna have to start writing about.
Have you seen my page? I write about everything.
I know you do. You're gonna have to, but now you're gonna start watching shows you don't want to watch.
Pie, I will message you on Facebook.
Like what?
I
Like
don't
what
know.
that I wouldn't
I don't know.
watch?
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean Walking Dead ties. I got my site's called Undead
I
Walking.
know. Hey, but you know what? There's a lot of undead walking in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, true. So
They have a
I
whole
trust me.
horde
If
of
I can find a
undead
spin,
walking.
oh, if I can find a spin, I will write about
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
If somebody has if they walk across the screen and they've been in The Walking Dead, I write about it.
Maybe we'll try to find that tie-in for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
all right, peeps, we're gonna go. We'll be back here next week. Obviously, we will chit chat about The Walking Dead and see how we all feel and what we're feeling. How we're feeling. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I sent Pi a message on Facebook
Oh,
with a link.
okay. You got scared the shit out of her or something?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, we'll be back next week. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you to everybody who's in the background, because even though we know you're not in the chat, we can see that you're there.
And we appreciate it.
So we do appreciate you guys being there, even though you're not participating in the chat. Thank you for kind of rolling through this with us.
I know we went off on a lot of tangents tonight.
But hopefully you had some fun. You know, when you have like a show wrap up and there ain't much to talk about, you got to just generate it. You got to just roll with it.
I'm not sending you serial killer links, all right, Pi? All right?
Yes, once again, prayers to your cousin.
Linda, I'll send it to you on Twitter.
Prayers to your cousin, Zay. Keep all the love and prayers going to them for a healthy recovery. Everybody else, thank you so much again. We will be here next week and more to talk about. Instagram. Hey guys, we weren't ignoring you. Hope you guys had a good time, and maybe we'll do this again next week. We'll talk about The Walking Dead. I will end this stream
I should probably outro us here, right? Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Peace.
Hey, Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. The best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa. Hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.